Welcome to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video, I am collabing for the first time with Charlie. Her channel name is Nut Butter Beauty. I will link her channel in my description box, of course. Now, I've known of Charlie and watched her content for some time, but she and I have never really communicated a bunch. And Charlie uploaded a video a couple months ago, I think it was, talking about a pretty toxic situation that I've also had experience with. And so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to reach out to Charlie on Instagram and just show my support for her. And so I did that. And she and I just started chatting and instantly formed a lovely bond with one another. Charlie is beautiful. She creates beautiful makeup looks, and she's really fun to watch. She's funny and just talks about a lot of things that I can really relate to, you know. And she also does some really fun challenges on Instagram. I've taken part in one. I'm getting ready to take part in another one for this week. I'm really looking forward to that. And so she said, you know what, I would love to collab with you sometime. And I said, Charlie, that would be amazing. Oh, we've also collabed on Instagram. We used our singles, some of our singles from Davina, and did a collab that way on Instagram. But she said, I would love to do a collab with you on YouTube. And I was like, I would absolutely love that, Charlie. Love doing collabs. And I just think she is so amazing. So yeah, I'm thrilled to be doing this with her for the first time. And I hope we continue to do more collabs. So she had watched, I believe, she had watched my eyeshadow palette collection video. And she said, we have a palette in common that I love, and it sounds like you love too. Would you like to do a collab using this palette? I said, yes, I would. So we'll be doing a collab with the Dirty Martini palette from Glamlite. Isn't that such cute packaging? I love it. And I love this color story because it's full of greens, and I love green eyeshadows, and Charlie also loves green eyeshadows. So I'm thrilled to be using this again. I think I've used it twice. And it's a lovely palette, lovely formulation of the mattes and the shimmers. Typically, well, the two times I've used this palette, I've used shades out of this side of the palette. So I think I'm going to be using shades out of this side of the palette today, just kind of get some use out of shades I haven't really used yet. So yeah, that's going to be so much fun. And we're also going to be talking about a phenomenon that's been happening lately known as the Sephora Kids. So we're both going to be chatting about that while we put our eye looks together. I'm just going to be doing one eye on camera today. I do have both brows done, and this eyelid is primed, of course, in the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 01. Okay, so let's get into this palette. I think what I will do is start off with this shade right here. This is called Dry Vermouth, and put that in my outer V into my crease transition area. I do need to grab a brush, of course. And I do have some new brushes that I will be using in upcoming videos, but I want to have it more dedicated to the brushes in those videos that I'll be doing coming up. And this is just about my collab with Charlie and using this palette. So that's why I'm not using my new brushes today. Alrighty, so Dry Vermouth in the outer V and in the creasy transition-y area. Yes. Okay, so I just found out about this whole Sephora Kids phenomenon not too long ago. Actually, it was through Shawnee, Smiley Shawnee. I'll also link her channel in my description box. She was mentioning to Jan Van and I'll link Jan's channel as well in the description box, about the whole Sephora Kids phenomenon. And I had never heard of it before. This was maybe a month ago, I guess, maybe a little over a month ago. So I was like, what the heck is that? So I go on to Google Sephora Kids, and several articles pop up. And basically what's happening, and I don't know if this is across the country. I don't think it's happened here where I live in Oregon. I know there were several stores from California that this had happened. So, you know, I'm ignorant to the fact if it's nationwide or not, but I mean, it's happening enough that it's making national news, right? But basically what's happening is these young girls, ages, I think 10 to 14, are going into Sephora stores and just trashing the store, trashing the samples, you know, they'll have let me move my mirror. They'll have the palettes to be swatched, or, you know, just kind of on display, tester palettes, or, you know, concealer, foundation, blushes, mascara, whatever. And they're just going and destroying it, breaking the shadows, stomping on them on the floor, mixing foundations, mixing concealers, skincare, all kinds of stuff. Just having absolutely zero respect for the store or the products, period. And a lot of this stuff is very high-end and very expensive makeup. And in a lot of these cases, these girls are not alone. Like, they're not just, you know, with themselves or with friends, they're with parents. And the parents apparently are allowing them to behave this way. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? I can't even imagine that. I cannot imagine allowing my daughter at any age, but especially, you know, that young, first of all, to go into Sephora anyway, but second of all, to go in and just trash stuff and leave it. I mean, I've seen pictures and it's just unbelievable what's going on. Not to mention the fact that when the Sephora workers go and try to, like, you know, stop this, these kids are super snotty and rude and just complete jackasses to the people that are working at Sephora. Oh, just unreal. Not only that, but I read an article about these young girls also purchasing very expensive skincare that is not meant for them at all. I know my window's open and my fan's on, so you're probably hearing the traffic, and I apologize, but it just gets too hot up here. I think that's good for right now. I do want to kind of lighten that up, so I'm going to go into this shade right here, and this is called Green Olive, and take that around the edge of the Dry Vermouth shade. They're using this skincare that's like anti-aging, anti-wrinkle, that they don't need on their face, okay? And what another article I read is that in some cases when like adults go in to purchase this type of product, these young girls have, you know, bought them out of stock, basically. What I don't understand is why would the Sephora workers let them buy that stuff? I mean, I guess maybe they can't say you can't buy this. I don't know. I mean, it's not like they're buying alcohol or cigarettes or something like that, but it just, I don't know. And maybe they've tried to discourage them from buying it, and or maybe maybe the parents are buying it for them while they're in the store. I don't know. I don't know that much of the detail here, but just so bizarre. I'm just like, what in the hell is going on? And I'll go into more detail about how I feel about this in just a minute. But I also want to talk about a recent Sephora Kids situation that happened in Boston. This young woman who was in Boston for a track meet was in a Sephora store. It's like the Prudential Mall or something like that, I think. And comes upon these three preteen girls at the foundation counter with one of the girls' mother. And she notices that this girl, who is white, has applied much darker foundation to do blackface in Sephora. And while she's putting on this foundation, she is laughing. She and her friends are laughing hysterically and making animal noises. And this mother is standing by, allowing this to go on. So this young woman starts filming this, and in the video, I was going to pop that up here, and I'm just not going to do that. And then I thought, well, I'll pop up pictures. I'm not doing that because I don't want to give these people any more screen time than they've already gotten. Okay, I'm glad that this was filmed, and I'm glad this did initially go up on TikTok. I'll talk more about that here in just a minute. But I just can't stomach putting their pictures up on in this video. I just can't do it. Anyway, so while this woman is filming the situation, there is another woman that's there who is a vendor, sounds like, at the Sephora store. She doesn't work for Sephora, but she is like a cosmetics vendor. And she goes over to these girls and is like, you need to stop doing this right now. This is extremely inappropriate. It's extremely offensive. And basically tells the mom, like, what are you doing? You're allowing this to go on? You need to stop this from happening. And the mother just turns around and walks away. Well, basically, I think first tries to tell the vendor that she's wrong, that the girl's just experimenting or playing around or something. And then she just walks away. Now, the three girls then kind of like slink down the little aisleway, and they're giggling and laughing, and then realize they're being filmed and then run away. Let me go into another shade here before I keep going. I think what I'm going to do is use... Gosh, I don't know. This is tough. I think I'm going to use this shade right here called Crisp. And then I think I might use this shade. Well, I've already used that shade. I want to use this shade. How about High Class? So let's use Crisp and High Class today. Let me find another brush. Like I mentioned, the track athlete that has filmed this then goes and puts it up on TikTok. And of course, you know, there's this outrage on one side. And then on the other side, there's people who are saying, well, it's just a skin mask. It's just a skin mask. She wasn't doing anything on purpose. She was just applying a skin mask. No, it was foundation. And the way they were behaving, hooting and hollering and laughing and making animal noises while they were doing it. I mean, they knew exactly what they were doing. And if they didn't know, the mother knew exactly what they were doing, or exactly how it would be perceived. I mean, duh, hello. And didn't stop them at all. Didn't do anything. Now, TikTok has since taken the video down because it's so offensive that they've taken it down. But I mean, enough people saw it. There's an airplane. Hold on a second. Okay, it passed over. But, obviously enough people saw it that it just started, having a lot of reactions right away. And people were, like I mentioned, either extremely pissed, just furiously angry and disgusted, or they were trying to defend these young girls, which I was in the disgusted, totally pissed, horrified camp. So I did happen to watch Robert Welch's video about this topic, which I will link in my description box. I watched it last night. It was very well done, and he nails it in what his assessment of the whole situation. I'm going to go into this shade now called High Class towards the front there. And, the initial story was that they had been kicked out of Sephora. Well, that's not what happened. They were not kicked out of Sephora. The mom actually purchased some makeup at the counter after this whole thing happened. And when the woman who was filming it, oh, this is pretty. Oh, this is cool. This is like it's got some green in it. It looks more like rusty colored, but it's got like a green flip to it. Cool. And when the girl who was filming it had gone up to the counter to talk to one of the workers there to express how horrified she was and how disgusted she was. And, she's almost in tears. And this young woman is Black in a Sephora store dealing with these young, white, young women in blackface. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine how she must have felt. Can't even imagine. Anyway, when she walked up to the counter to tell them what was going on, the woman that was behind the counter said, well, what do you want me to do about it? I can't do anything about it. Go talk to them. No, you go deal with it immediately. And it sounds like the vendor who was there also tried to get the Sephora employee to do something about it, and she wasn't doing anything about it. And, allowed the mother to purchase things before they left. I mean, I don't know. It's just so awful that at any time of life, but in 2024, we're dealing with this kind of crap. It's just unbelievable. I'm so horrified. And, the bottom line here is, and I know some of you may disagree with me on this, but the bottom line here to me is the parenting. What in the hell is going on that these young women, first of all, are thinking this is okay to behave this way? And also that the mother is standing there. Oh, she was also taking pictures of it. What was she going to do with the pictures? Oh, I'm so proud of my daughter in blackface at a Boston Sephora, and posted up on Instagram or Facebook. I mean, it's just so disgusting. I do kind of want to deepen up the outer part here. So I think I'm going to go into the shade here called Extra Dirty. It just makes me so sick to think of the youth that's growing up, that's Gen Alpha, right? Is what this generation is called that I'm talking about, the 10 to 14-year-olds. Gen Alpha. I had not heard of that phrase before until I watched Robert's video. And just the fact that this is allowed, I just don't understand it. Like, I was just thinking about, I have a daughter, and I was thinking about the fact that, she does wear makeup, and she started wearing makeup when she was in high school. And there were times when I would purchase things for her, and she also babysat and would go get herself some makeup products. And there were some times that she would go into Sephora and get some things that were on sale, but she was like 17, 18, well, maybe 16, but I think when she was going to Sephora, she was like 17 or 18. It was like her senior year of high school into her freshman year of college. And very respectful, and would not have gone in and trashed anything. and would not have purchased things that she had no business purchasing. And also, I mean, she would never have done blackface, ever. I mean, no way would that have ever happened. But I was monitoring what she was buying and monitoring when she was going, and also monitoring like what she was watching on YouTube and Instagram and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there a lot of the excuses as well, you know, they're exposed to all the different makeup channels and makeup this and that. And I get that. They are exposed to it, but they don't have to be exposed to it, because the parents can not allow them to watch that. And I didn't allow my daughter to watch that when she was 10 to 14. Not at all. Not at all. So, I mean, you know, I do think that the girls that are, you know, going in and trashing the stores, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to like find an excuse for that. I don't think there is one, but I'm just trying to rack my brain for one. You know, maybe they just aren't old enough to understand the repercussions of their actions, maybe. But I still think that's ridiculous too, because how could they not be? You know, you don't understand that when you trash something, that's not okay, and it's extremely disrespectful, and you're ruining a store. But this blackface situation, man, there's just nothing that's excusable about that. Nothing. It's awful. And my heart really goes out to the woman, the track athlete that was there to, you know, see that, witness it, and I'm really proud of her for filming it and putting it up on TikTok. And I don't mean to refer to her as the track athlete. That's how she was described. You know, she talks about that in a little video that I watched her film, that she was there for a track meet. There's obviously a lot more to her than her just being a track athlete, but I'm just saying, like, you know, that young woman, I just feel so awful for her. My heart goes out to her. And she was with some other teammates of hers. And it just, I don't know, just horrible, horrible. And, you know, I don't think that Sephora is handling this correctly at all, at all. And I think they're trying to make it seem like they are. You know, they're trying to make it seem like, oh, we dealt with it. But the witnesses that were there are saying that, no, they did not handle it very well. I'm going to go around with this brush and just kind of chill the edge of that out. But, you know, I mean, does it need to get to the point? I think in some stores it has, where if you're under 18, you can't enter a Sephora store. I mean, that's really how I think it should be. I think that's what should happen here. So I did pop a little bit of my Kill Cover Pro Artist Liquid Shading Concealer that I got in some PR from Stylevana down here. And I'm going to do my lower lash lines. I'm going to start off with my lower water lines, of course, using the NYX Professional Makeup Epic Wear Liner Stick in Emerald Cut. Another thing I meant to mention that I forgot until now is that the mother of the girls followed the young woman who had filmed this whole thing take place and told her to delete the footage. You delete that. I don't want you putting that up anywhere. And she's like, no, I'm not going to delete it. And, you know, the mother was taking pictures, so she was going to put it up somewhere. So, you know, and I think, I don't have any problem with the fact that she put it up on TikTok. Not at all. I think that these kids need to be, and the mother need to be held accountable for this horribly awful behavior. Horrible. Disgusting. And honestly, I don't really know how I feel about TikTok taking it down, because like Robert Welch talked about, you know, yes, of course, it's extremely offensive. And there's, you know, I think there's lots of people that don't want to see that. However, like I just said, I think these girls and their mother need to be held accountable. But Robert also mentioned the fact that there are a lot of other videos that are up on TikTok that are just as, if not more disturbing and more offensive, and those are left up on there. So, well, just interesting to me. So I'm going to go into Green Olive and put that across my lower lash lines. I need to find a brush. But as I was sitting and watching Robert's video, and then also going and reading other articles over the past month or so, and reading about all these different situations that are happening, I have said out loud by myself multiple times, why can't these kids be told no? You tell them no, they can't do X, Y, and Z. I don't understand. It's like, I don't know. What I've read too is that I guess Robert talked about this too in his video, is that the parents of these Gen Alpha folks are millennials. And so they have, you know, and each generation has their own unique, I don't know, I guess parenting style, or whatever you want to call it. you know, as far in terms of parenting. And so, you know, like the millennials now are raising their children to just feel very entitled and to do whatever they want, wherever they want, and never hear the word no. And I know that's a very broad generalization here. I don't think that all millennial parents are allowing this to go on and all Gen Alpha kids behave this way. I don't believe that at all. I know that that's not the case. But it's happening enough that it's becoming a real huge issue. And I don't know. It makes me real nervous for my grandson growing up, thinking like, what's he gonna have to deal with? And, you know, I don't know. I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine. I'm gonna go into dry vermouth and put that on my lower lash lines. Allowing my kids to behave that way. I've never allowed that kind of crap to go on, and my kids would never act like that anyway. I mean, I just unreal. I mean, I've never, my son did knock over a belt display when he was 5 at Target. And I just about I lost my poo on him. That was not cool that he did that, but I made him stop and pick up all the belts, and he was, you know, in trouble after that. You know, when he got home, he went to his room, and, you know, anyway. But, you know, it's just this very like whatever you want to do attitude, and you're allowed to do whatever you want, and you don't have to be respectful, and, you know, think about people's property when you're in a store. And also this just blatantly racist behavior, blatantly racist, disgusting, horrifying, extremely offensive behavior is allowed to go on, and it's just not okay at all, at all. So I would really like to chat with you guys about this whole situation in the comment section. I'm going to go back in with this brush, just kind of blend that out a little bit. In the comment section, see what you guys think of what you've seen or heard. But I'm telling you, I am just really horrified by this whole situation on both sides of the coin. Just the trashing of the store, also the, you know, purchasing of skincare products and other makeup products that they have no business using, and then blackface. Just mind-blowing. And I'd like to know also what you guys think of how Sephora is handling these situations. How do you think they're handling it? How do you think it should be handled? I personally feel that I don't care if they're with the chaperone or not. If they're under 18, they're not coming in the store, period. And maybe that's too harsh. I don't care. Sorry, but that's just the way I think it should be. You know, you don't need to be coming into Sephora at 10, 11, 12. I mean, I 13, 14, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about it in terms of my own daughter, who was, you know, pretty responsible by that point in her life, because she was made to be and raised to be responsible. But I don't know. I just think, I'm gonna put a little bit more of that dark brown shade out here. I just think that if, it's too bad that these types of people are ruining the experience for other kiddos that wouldn't behave this way. But I still think, unless they're 18, they shouldn't be coming in. You know, at first I thought, well, if they have a chaperone, well, yeah, but let's look what happened with the chaperone. Just horrifying. So I think I'm pretty much done with this look. I really like how this look turned out. That palette is really fun to use. Everything worked really well. I know I didn't talk much about what I was doing because I was getting so heated about the whole Sephora Kids nightmare. But I'm gonna go off camera, do my other eye, the rest of my face, dry my hair, and I'll be back. So this is the finished look, and I love how this look turned out. I love the eyeshadow palette. I'm so thrilled that both Charlie and I have this in our collection so we could both use it together today for our collab. And I'm gonna show you the palette again. Let me show you just a few things I put on my face for my finished look. On my lips, I used a liquid lipstick from Queen Nubia Cosmetics. This is in the shade My Lisa. This is my favorite liquid lipstick that I have in my collection. I love the shade. I think it's beautiful. Reminds me of the 90s lip colors I was super into in the 90s. And I really like this formula. It feels really nice on the lips. And then for my upper lid liner, I used the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Super Slim in brown. This has its good days and it has its bad days. And today it's not the greatest. It went on this lid just fine. And then I had to kind of like plead with it to perform well on this eyelid. You know, it's just getting old. I should probably get another one. And then for my mascara, I used the Catchy Eyes from Gosh Cosmetics. Again, love it. And then for my inner corners, I used a shade out of the Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I use this shade right here called Helia. It's kind of like a green and gold mix. It's really, really pretty. Didn't put it on my face, but did put it in my inner corners. So now let's talk about the Dirty Martini palette from Glamlite. Fun to use some shades in here I hadn't used before. I hadn't used either one of these mattes, Green Olive and Dry Vermouth. I put a combination of those two on my lower lash lines. I don't think I'd used Extra Dirty either. And then I know for sure I hadn't used either one of these shimmers. I think I swatched Crisp, but I had never used High Class or Crisp on my lids until today. Really a fun look to put together. Loved how all the shades perform. The mattes were very blendable, very pigmented. The shimmers are just stunning, very dynamic, very opaque, very easy to apply. I cannot wait to see what shades Charlie used for her look. I'm wondering if we use the same shades or not. It's going to be really fun to watch her video and see what she did. And also, I want to hear her take on the whole Sephora Kids phenomenon. I can't believe that it's a phenomenon to begin with. And, you know, how I look at it is there's got to be some checks and balances here with parents. You can't just let your kids roam the streets doing whatever they want and never be told no. You cannot allow these kids to go into stores, any store, and trash it, whether you're with them or not, especially if you're with them, but if you're not with them. I mean, I don't know. I just can't imagine letting my daughter go into a store by herself at that age, 10 years old, 11, 12, whatever, and first of all, not know what she was doing in the store. You know what I mean? I just can't even imagine that. And the situation that happened in Boston, there's no excuse for. Absolutely no excuse for that kind of behavior. None. That mother should be absolutely, totally and thoroughly ashamed of herself and ashamed of her daughter and her friends' behavior. Absolutely. And my heart really goes out to the young woman who, you know, came upon that in that store. I'm so glad that she filmed it though and brought everyone's attention to this horrendous nightmare that was going on. Just unbelievable that in 2020, any year, but in 2024, that this kind of stuff's still going on. It's despicable. And I really do hope that Sephora is able to really crack down on that behavior, number one, absolutely. But also this other stuff that's going on. These kids coming in and trashing the displays, mixing products, you know, I guess you can't tell someone they can't buy something if you're not their guardian or their parent or whatever, but I just feel like, I don't know, there's got to be some limits here, right? I would think. I don't know. It's just really frightening to see the way that these young people have behaved, and it just really does frighten me for what else they could be capable of in the future. And I just really hope that, you know, the attention of this type of behavior will, number one, make them accountable for their awful behavior, and also hopefully make them turn it around, and they will never behave like that again, anywhere they are, whether they're out in public, at home, doesn't matter. There's just no excuse for that kind of blatant, racist, disgusting behavior, period. So anyway, I would love to know what you guys think about the Sephora Kids phenomenon. We can chat about that in the comment section. And yeah, it's just very disturbing on all levels. Just really, really gross. And of course, I highly recommend you guys go and check out Charlie's channel, subscribe, show her a ton of love. I'm so happy that she and I have now connected. I'm looking forward to future collabs, Instagram and YouTube. It's going to be really fun. Charlie is such a beautiful light here on this platform, and she's very special to me. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.